What's good, everybody? It's QB for Culturalist Theory, and we're here with another ranking for you to enjoy. It's safe to say that Atlanta has had its time in the sun as an epicenter of hip-hop, and depending on who you ask, the A still reigns supreme. Goodie Mob, comprised of CeeLo Green, Big Gip, T-Mo, and Cujo, along with the larger Dungeon Family Collective, helped to shape the sound that would soon go on to redefine the culture and dominate the airwaves. Today's ranking is limited to their major label releases, so it does not include the Cujo and T-Mo side project Living Life as Lumberjacks, CeeLo's solos, or Gnarls Broccoli projects. Don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment, and share this video with someone you know who appreciates soul food. Let's get started. Number 6, One Monkey Don't Stop No Show. Despite the loss of their colorful lead, a critical and disinterested response to their last joint, and a 6-year layoff, the remaining Goodie Mob members delivered a solid effort that reinforces what makes this group so unique, although to a lesser effect. Cujo, T-Mo, and Gip still wield the mic with righteous indignation, unleash fiery bars about modern injustices, dispense advice to the youth, and provide a southern perspective on life. But CeeLo's absence is a gaping hole in the project. He's the creative glue binding the group together and arguably its most artistically daring member. His high-pitched, energetic cadences always contrasted nicely with Cujo's gravelly voice and Gip's languid delivery. The album works without his input, but you can't help but picture him on songs like God I Wanna Live and The Life Goes On inspired Dead Homies. With that said, the album is no dud. Title subs aside, the departure of Mr. Green is rarely addressed. Despite his public declaration at the time that Goodie Mob was dead without his involvement, songs follow the typical mob mold of gratitude to God for their success, expanding your mind, and repping the A like only they can. Organized Noise was also MIA, but production mostly holds up here. While the likes of Mark Twain and Bread and Water aren't likely to evoke acknowledgement from most fans, they hold it down on We Black, It Ain't Nothing For Us, and Goodie Advice. Several big names make key contributions too. The breezy Neptunes produced What You See, features the unsung Witch Doctor, and 123 Goodie Soars due to his uplifting DJ Paul instrumental and spirited performance from the Moby Trio. The lackluster beat and low energy Nelly impersonator make In the Streets the only missed and outright skippable track on the album. So if you're a fan of Goodie Mob and haven't checked this one out, give it a spin. Number 5, Age Against the Machine. 14 years after the creative differences derailed their unified front, Goodie Mob returned with flamboyant frontman CeeLo Green in tow. Age Against the Machine hit stores in August 2013 and saw the elder statesmen of the SWATs re-enter hip-hop with an album that showed that they had not lost a step. They were still on par with their lyrical front, had kept group chemistry intact, and maintained the timeless quality of their social messaging. The production, for better or worse, is where the record separates itself from others in their discography. At times, it feels like an extension of Green's eclectic taste, as many songs, Power, radio single Special Education with Janelle Monáe, and Come As You Are incorporate elements of pop, opera, techno, and electronica. Obviously sounds not generally associated with Goodie Mob. While it doesn't necessarily invalidate the overall excellence of the lyricism on the project, the livelier, more pop-oriented beats can detract from their potency. Songs like I'm Set, with its pounding drumline and ominous horn, Pinstripes with T.I. on his A-game, and Colors, which confronts the effects and hypocrisy of racism, harken the classic Goodie. Rich instrumentation, defiant protest, spiritual affirmations, and conceptual rhymes. Other notable tracks include Amy, a snappy up-tempo number dedicated to interracial dating, and in Sugarlow's case, his very first white girl, and understanding a complex take on relationships and infidelity. Father Time closes Age Against the Machine in superb fashion, as each member chronicles the group's legacy and reasserts their claims to legendary status. You can look at this one in one of two ways. Age Against the Machine is a different listen and may not appease longtime fans of the group, or an inventive and divergent album that proves Goodie Mob cannot be constrained to a specific sound or genre. Number 4, World Party. An overlooked gem, their third album did not receive the same effusive reception, label promotion, or staying power as their previous projects. Whether due to label pressure or internal friction regarding the group's creative ambitions, this album saw Goodie Mob reach for a broader audience appeal and increased radio presence with mixed results. Alterations to their established sound at the time, courtesy of outside producers like the Hitmen's D-Dot and Craig Klepto Tucker, Easy Mo B, and Mr. DJ. CeeLo Green's impending 14 estrangement from the group notwithstanding, the bars are sharp as ever. We hear Cujo, T-Mo, and Big Gip even loosening up a bit on tracks like The Dip and I See You. CeeLo continues his scene-stealing streak on tracks like Chain Swing with slippery vocal inflections, ridiculous flow patterns, transitioning from rapid-fire rap to sing-song delivery and poetic music in one take. The pointless and annoying intro is a disappointing departure from their earlier, thought-provoking openers. The title track is sneakily infectious, and CeeLo's familiar vocals mesh well with the festive beat and verses from Big Gip and T-Mo depicting the perfect global celebration. Looped violin strings add somber desperation to rebuilding, and CeeLo goes off, decrying black-on-black violence while tapping into multiple fast-paced flows, singing the bridge, and providing background vocals. One misstep here is the second single, What It Ain't Ghetto Enough with TLC. Fun fact, This track was supposedly recorded for TLC's Fan Mail album, but the label deadline prevented it from being added to the project at the last minute, which is probably better for them than it was for the mob. The off-kilter beat transitions, unnecessary auto-tune, and R&B oriented tempo make the track sound like a throwaway Timbaland beat and clash with Goodie Mob's Ernest Mack game. Another is the oddly heavy censoring on several tracks, Street Corner, Chain Swang, and Rebuilding to name a few. However, a few misguided commercial attempts don't dampen the overall quality of the album, which largely stands on its own merit as an underrated sleeper. Number 3, Survival Kit. From out of nowhere, Goodie Mob returned during the pandemic to give fans a much-needed audio reprieve from the lockdown and global protests precipitated by public lynchings and police brutality. CeeLo sets off the record on Are You Ready? With a blistering 16, rapping like he's possessed by the rebellious spirit of Public Enemy frontman Chuck D, who coincidentally also appears on the track, while Timo and Cujo ride shotgun and match Green's energy. Time and inactivity haven't dulled their lyrical acumen. If anything, Gipp, Cujo, and Timo sound like they spent time training in a hyperbolic time chamber. Organized Noise returns to the fold, providing a balanced mix of modern production and head-nodding callbacks to the classic Goodie sound. The sonic palette has grown without sounding forced or half-baked. The reggae-tinged Curry Goat, country-fied and bluesy off-road, and techno-funk of No Cigar all slap, as do the more experimental records such as Back to Back and Me Time. Survival Kit sounds like a natural evolution of the Goodie Mob sound as opposed to the pop-oriented sensibilities of their previous outing. Notable guests include separate appearances from the Outkast duo, Big Boy on Pray for the Sheep, who delivers searing condolences to trend-chasing, social media-obsessed rappers lacking substance in their rhymes, and Andre 3000 and the aforementioned No Cigar, who spits a masterful verse reminiscing on his time in a dungeon. Funny man DC Young Fly makes an appearance on the skit too. Even Big Rube stops by to drop gems on several interludes, giving this record the true feel of a members-only affair. Survival Kit is vintage Goodie Mob, an album with something to say on every song, soulful, spiritual, and deep-rooted in experience. If there are any gripes, and they're minor, it would be the absence of CeeLo on both Outkast featured tracks. It's always nice to see them go head-to-head, and it's been a minute since we last heard them on the track together. Number 2, Soul Food. Fresh off a string of memorable guest appearances and the ascendance of the Dungeon family onto the national radar with the release of the Outkast debut, Goodie Mob emerged with their own southern classic in Soul Food. Their stirring debut gave the world a visceral, uncompromising look into their lives on the streets of the ATL and earned them a gold plaque in the process. The project opens with a heartfelt prayer from CeeLo. The soulful introduction implies a rousing spiritual experience and lets the listener know that it's no ordinary opus. Grit and soul are terms best applied to Soul Food. Thought Process sets the record off with a bang, but this is no warm welcome. Goodie Mob, which stands for Good, Die Mostly Over Bullshit, fitting as CeeLo, Cujo, Big Gipp, and Timo are tired, pissed off, and here to air their grievances over prejudice, poverty, and wannabe gangsters. From the moment he graces the opener, CeeLo shines. His versatile flow, effortless harmonies, impassioned preaching, and off-the-cuff freestyles. For reference, check out Fighting, where he admits to not having a verse prepared and then delivers a fierce spoken word sermon. Dirty South is easily one of the hardest, most intricate beats ever made. Cool Breeze and Big Gipp detail their dealings in the drug game and rebuke the notorious Red Dog Atlanta police unit that terrorized underprivileged residents in the 90s. Big Boy also shows up for a quick verse, but his pimpin' exploits detract from the brooding theme and feel out of place. What really elevates the production on Soul Food is how Organized Noise tailor-made their beats to fit the thematic mood of each track. You tell me if Cell Therapy doesn't sound like creeping paranoia. Standouts include Sesame Street, a darker take on the widely known children's show, where each member describes situations that made them grow up faster than any kid should have to. Live at the Omni is a lesson in prison politics, and the moving church-inspired closer, The Day After. The lead single and title track Soul Food encapsulate what makes the Goodie Mob so special. Stage introspection told in a common language over ethereal, bass-driven production. CeeLo's high-spirited music and church choir voice, Big Gipp's gruff sandpaper vocals bemoaning his neighborhood suspicions, Timo's amp, ride-or-die antics, and Cujo's bellowing, matter-of-fact descriptions all combine to describe their favorite plates of home cooking. It's a song that, like the album, has a way of staying with you long after the closing bars. Yo, super random, but did you know that CeeLo was originally supposed to be the third member of Outkast? Imagine that. Number 1, Still Standing. The Goodie Mob smartly built on the foundation of their first album and improved by every metric, sharpening the focus and delivery of their lyrics, playing off each other's energy with increased chemistry, incorporating a greater degree of live instrumentation in their beats, and expanding the scope of their subject matter, creating a superior sophomore effort. Like their criminally ignored debut, Still Standing opens with another powerful starter. In this case, on The Experience, CeeLo frustratedly contemplates what it means to be a black man in America, criticizing the fact that he has to dumb down his message to reach certain segments of his people. The lead single, Black Ice, features Outkast, and along with an iconic chorus, includes a masterclass in rhyming courtesy of Andre, who absolutely owns the track. Fly Away, They Don't Dance No More, and Ghettoology are certified bangers. The latter track stands out with its strained vocals and electric guitar riffs that seemingly provoke the four to spaz out lyrically. What separates the Goodie Mob from so many other conscious rappers is they are not content with solely observing and reporting the negatives of their environment, but also offering solutions and treating black women to respect themselves before seeking the same for men on brown skin, and doling out cautionary advice to avoid getting swept up in the street life on I Refuse limitation. Big Gift even touches on environmentalism in the short skit following brown skin, chastises his people for throwing trash on the ground and cheapening the value of their own neighborhood. Greeny Green plays like a stoner journey to enlightenment, with Cujo, Timo, and Witch Doctor spitting stream of consciousness rhymes over funky, drawn-out guitar licks. Rather than build upon the futuristic funk they introduced on Southern playalistic Cadillac music, Organized Noise creates a new template for the Goodie Mob beat, combining muddier bass lines, plodding drum patterns, electric guitars, natural sounds, and eerie background vocals to give each track a distinct backwoods feel. On Still Standing, CeeLo emerges as a de facto face of the Goodie Mob. That's not to say that the other members are slouches in the writing department, as Gift, Timo, and Cujo all bring their A-game to the proceedings. But it's clear, like Method Man of Wu-Tang, Q-Tip of A Tribe Called Quest, or Tretch of Naughty by Nature, some stars are destined to shine brighter than others. Is it a rounding error better than soul food? We'll leave that for you culturalists in the comment section to decide. But for this ranking, the noted overall improvement to their craft, diversified production, and continued exploration of provocative social themes are still standing the top spot on our list today. That'll do it for us here today. I'm QB for Culturalist Theory. Check out our other rankings of fellow AT aliens, Outkast, and T.I., which are right here on the screen. Don't forget to subscribe to get you caught up on the latest and greatest. Until next time, I'm out.